Once upon a time, there were two best friends. One of them had a computer and the other one sucked.
Okay, we did it. Here we go. Start of the episode. Welcome back, everybody. This is actually Villains Incorporated.
Take two. We lost the footage.
we did.
In a sense.
In a sense.
In a sense, we lost the footage.
There are very weird specifics that we don't have to go into.
Yeah, it's been like an hour
necessarily on that one, but we thought the jump cut from the car to the running would be funny, and explaining jokes is definitely funny.
Yeah, that's how comedians get funny.
Right? That's what
so
they do.
comment question of the day. What's your favorite condiment? Okay, so a little background on that. So that was the common question of the day in the previous
in the previous rendition of this video
of this episode. It was that. And then, we lost the footage magically.
Magically
lost the footage. Totally wasn't our volition at all.
Totally wasn't
a discussion we had to destroy that previous episode. But then we had this talk about how, sometimes we just do some really shitty comment question of the days.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make a point to do the shitty one again. Because in our own conversation, I had mentioned, because we just started talking about, favorite condiments, and we both like mustard, but we both dislike Dijon mustard, and then I said that Dijon mustard is for the weak, which I genuinely think it is.
Yeah.
I think you're a coward if you like Dijon mustard. But yeah, I like honey mustard, he likes regular mustard, that
was the whole conversation.
Yeah, that was the whole conversation.
That was pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I've done this puzzle before.
Yeah, we went through pretty much to the end of this chapter, which is
up here.
Another 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna breeze through this puzzle real quick. I do want to remark on how this guy has puzzle activated locks in his house.
I think it's great. I would love to do that.
I mean, maybe let's talk about how he's an old dude in a wheelchair. And how this puzzle requires pushing of what is clearly very heavy statues. I feel like it's like a bad thing.
Well, clearly he doesn't have to complete them because he's probably got technology in his keyboard thing on his wheelchair.
Well, because that had better be the case.
I hope so.
Because otherwise, there would be no other way to unlock this door from the other side of this door.
Yeah.
And so he's in there right now, which means he very well could be trapped in there.
Yeah, no, he could be trapped.
Let's see, 14.
Maybe he's headstrong and he'll take you on.
Okay.
God, I itch.
That's strange.
I'm always itchy.
Is it something I should be concerned about?
Yeah, I have AIDS.
No, I mean is that like a bed bugs thing?
No. It's not. I'm literally always itchy in some way, shape, or form. I think it's because I actually talked about this with our friend Raincloud.
Okay.
Raincloud, real subtle.
Real subtle.
Super subtle.
They definitely won't know that you're referring.
Well, I don't think they watch our videos, do they?
No, they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Raincloud. Anyway, so we were having a discussion where it's it was just super late at night. We were just hanging out and talking, and I mentioned that I always need something to do with my hands. Part of the reason I took up smoking back in the day was it was something to do with my hands, and that's why sometimes if I'm just kind of sitting by my lonesome doing my own thing, or when I get really animated in a discussion, you'll my hands will go wild all over the place. I'll be fucking with my hair the whole time, but God, what was my fucking point?
I don't know. You were the one who had the point. I did not have the point.
Fuck.
Did you really just...
I already forgot what the fuck my point was. God damn it.
You actually have no idea?
It's gone. It's gone. Fuck up his door, man.
I'm gonna fuck up this guy's door with my shotgun. My shooty gun.
God damn it.
What? Are you fucking kidding me,
Mistakes were made.
York!
Go
Okay.
directly in front of it. It's the weird hitbox, I think. Yeah.
Some
I think it's the weird hitbox of the bullets. God damn it, I completely
Shells.
forgot what I was fucking talking
bought
about.
all those shells.
Oh, the itching thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, even if I'm not actually, like... I'm not necessarily always itchy, but, like, oftentimes I'll just be scratching at something for no reason.
Okay, as long as this isn't, like a medical issue that, like...
Well, no, it's
I need to
technically...
look
It's
into
technically... This down here near my ankles is technically a medical issue, but it's not.
What is that?
Okay,
You've never
so-
explained that to me.
At first, we thought it was eczema. Then we were told it was dermatitis. And now I'm pretty sure, like,
turns out
that's
what
all
you said
gone
was
and it's
true.
just really shitty skin.
I'd like to hear more.
Oh, so...
It might be dermatitis still, but, like, it's not spreadable. It's just, like, really dry skin and shit.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we should do something about that, like some lotion or something.
Oh, we tried and, like, it worked, but, like, it started drying it out as opposed to actually fixing it.
Huh. That's
Well,
strange. You know, this is not the first Filipino person I've known with something that looked exactly like that.
Yeah, my
except
mom has them.
His was on the back of his neck.
Yeah, like, as far as I know, Filipinos are, like, super prone to, like, skin issues.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a strange, weak race.
Yes, that's true.
Hardline joke.
Yeah, no.
Hey-oh.
Our weak race, you know, we have survived on an island for so long.
That has been conquered by how many nations?
Okay, so that reminded me of another discussion I had. So, why is it that I actually don't know if I should... No, I'm fucking bringing this up. Why is it that black people can be outwardly offended when people are racist to them, or when they talk about slavery, but Filipinos are not?
Well, I mean,
The legend of
Wh-
the
well,
raincoat
what-
killer?
Because other Africans sold the Africans into
That's never more than
slavery.
folklore.
yes.
The FBI
For the most
also
part, for the most
tracked
Yeah, for the most
homicide.
part. Obviously, there's but like Filipinos, we were conquered by the Spanish and got fucked up,
Uh-huh.
and then World War II happened, in which the Japanese and the Americans did it.
Uh-huh.
So how come we're not allowed to complain about that?
Because literally every other race has been conquered. Like, literally. Even Europeans, from what we were watching earlier, you know, like, the Turks were the
Yeah.
primary, like, kind of world-leading society.
Oh, we watched this movie called Dracula Untold. Outstanding action movie. Strongest 6 or 7 I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, I was actually surprised. The storytelling wasn't great,
Was
but
super
the
average.
visuals were awesome. The acting, I actually felt, was pretty
Yeah,
solid.
the acting was actually really strong.
Yeah, like they really stuck to the script and sold the characters and
Yeah.
all that, and it's just the script itself wasn't great.
Yeah.
I think was the primary issue with that
Yeah.
movie, but it was a solid, like, I would recommend people watch that. But anyway, every race at some point has been conquered pretty much by another race,
Oh, yeah,
or every
yeah.
demographic has been conquered by another demographic just throughout history. The recent kind of conquering that affects America directly was the enslavement of African Americans. And in the beginning of America's foundation, slaves were of any race. There were actually
Yeah.
a lot of Irish slaves.
Oh,
there were a lot of
yeah.
and that kind of evolved more into indentured servitude later on, and then that evolved into apprenticeships and all that. But it didn't really evolve that way for the African American populace. And regardless of how it started, it was how it ended that was a major issue. So, like, you guys still don't have Spaniards conquering the Philippines. And you still don't have Japanese coming in conquering the Philippines. Or, in recent times, America has been very strong-armed out of the region. And
They got kind of strong-armed towards the end of World War II with all the guerrilla warfare, and then that stopped, and then current president happened,
Well, there's a lot of conflict that is
Yeah.
still actively going
Yeah.
on there, and I don't mean to make light of that situation.
Oh no, make light of it. I think it's hilarious that the current president of the Philippines is basically Hagar from Final Fight combined with the Punisher.
So the reason, for one thing, you're allowed to get offended over that. I don't think you should. I don't. So this is a difficult place to come
that's
from
why
as a white guy specifically, because a lot of this is targeted.
it's your fault.
At white people in general,
white guilt, feel it.
Caucasians, but in the way that America was set up post slavery and after the abolishment of slavery was ghettos and the way that cities were designed were to keep the African American populace in certain areas as still a form of segregation.
Well, and also just institutionalized racism, which, depending on who you ask, is or isn't a thing.
That's a very widespread term.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say on it as far as city planning specifically. The cities were designed to keep the African American populace in certain areas away from certain areas.
I mean, it's literally the man keeping the black people down.
And because of that, because the African American populace was all gathered and clumped up in these areas, in these groups, which were later developed into ghettos or hoods, but at the abolishment of slavery, there were not a lot of rich African Americans.
Yeah, that's true.
If there were, and they were cordoned off and they were segregated in these areas, it wouldn't have been half as bad because those rich African Americans could have started up businesses, could have started up a more wealthy kind of culture in a more healthy environment, because with that money they would be able to supply better food and better water and better all that to the areas.
Yeah.
Instead, because after the abolishment of slavery, they were all typically not wealthy because they were mostly slaves.
Yeah.
It caused this weird rift in segregating schools as well.
And then water fountains, bathrooms, which it's kind of coming back again, but less about black people and more about just being different.
Right. But a lot of like school teachers,
Yeah.
since they were in segregated schools, were African American. And because they were African Americans coming out of the abolishment of slavery, the number of educated African Americans and the level of education that African Americans had received was on a lower standard than what the white schools were receiving.
Yeah.
And because of that, it led for less opportunities for them. And so that's kind of what institutionalized racism means on a less blanket statement, as opposed to like, oh, you were raised to be racist.
Also, allow me to clarify to the people watching this, being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Miguel's trying to get sympathy for his horrible island savage people." But like, what I meant by bringing that up is not being like, "Oh, how come black people get to complain about slavery?" It was more, why aren't Filipinos allowed to complain about the things that have happened to them and not be swept under the rug? And to counter that point of like, oh, all the other conquering shit already happened.
Yeah.
People in Europe still complain about the other people in Europe.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, so that's to counter that. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that statement so you don't actually feed.
Where am I going?
Outstanding. Sheriff's Department. So it
should
doesn't.
I cut through this?
I think you can cut through that.
Or should I stay on the road? Looks like it goes to the right.
Just cut through the road.
Okay, whatever.
But I just wanted to like clarify so that people don't. Well, so I don't feed into my own joke that I'm secretly a white supremacist.
Oh yeah.
Not so secretly. Like
In a public forum.
yeah. I
want
want
this delicious money.
Oh, nice money.
Anyway,
Like, I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't a how come black people get to complain about slavery, and more of a why are Filipino issues swept under the rug.
Yeah. So it's. I don't think that it's a matter of sweeping something under the rug necessarily. It's just a matter of. So for one thing, I'm actually not positive on the numbers on this, but I'm fairly sure that the Filipino presence in America is still at a lower level than the African American presence.
Oh yes, as far as I know.
As far as I know, that's still very much a thing. It's another thing of like, how much does an issue affect this demographic, and how large of that is a demographic compared to the rest of the world? And this is why like people like Black Lives Matter, that organization kind of started, and why the All Lives Matter argument really bothers a lot of people is. That exact reason is why is this swept under the rug? Why does society not care so much that all of these African Americans are dying at the hands of police and suffering prejudice in public society with government organizations? Why is all of that happening? And it's a call to attention of like
what is currently the issue. Yeah.
Right. Of like, hey, we're a demographic and we're here and we're, being, what is the word I'm looking for?
Prejudiced upon?
Yeah, there's like a word. Discriminated against. And they want to point out that is something that needs attention. But you're right. Like all issues need attention like that. Even for, stuff like, turned on my lights and I ran into a fence.
Which also I should mention, I 100% agree with the Black Lives Matter thing, and the All Lives Matter thing actually does annoy me, because like the reason I'm behind that, like the Black Lives Matter thing, is I'm Filipino. I'm very clearly not a black man.
Yes.
People in my youth have discriminated me as a black man. Yeah. So like I get it, not to the same degree, but I understand. There was this one kid in my second grade class. I'm gonna call him.
We should probably talk about this in the next episode. In fact, I'm
Probably.
totally willing. I'm totally willing to continue this.
Yeah.
In the next episode.
Let me just finish this thought.
Okay.
I'm gonna call him Billy.
Okay.
We were just sitting in class reading, and he was calling me hard R's the entire time, and I didn't realize that was specifically for slavery and black people at the time. I thought that's just what you called people who weren't white.
Huh. Interesting.
And that
not good.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's funny. It's funny that you thought that.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Well,
it's funny that got solidified as a concept in your head. As far as not white people goes.
Yeah.
That's what was interesting to me about
Well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying by that. It's like it just like that's how deep and hurtful the racism that is currently lasted through this country can be. That a 7-year-old Filipino kid got offended by the hard R when it doesn't pertain to him at all.
We'll continue this conversation.
We'll talk about this later.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye. Racism Talk.